Lauren Daigle, good morning. How are you?
I'm refreshed. I feel good, Father.
You look great.
You're kind.
Doesn't she look great,
No,
guys?
she does.
It's the California sun. I mean, it is literally the best. It's the
Listen, you always look great, but the colors that you bring to the table in your outfits match the color and the vibrancy of your face and your eyes.
best. Oh, thank you.
Seriously.
I heard this thing about dopamine dressing. Have you heard about this?
No, what is that?
Okay, I didn't know anything about it. My friend, we grew up together. She is the one who takes care of all my wardrobe. She's the best. Her name is Hannah. And Hannah and I, we're always laughing. Like, it could be the dullest moment, and we'll just look at each other and start busting out laughing.
Yeah.
Well, I always tell her, I want to wear color. I want to wear something fun. I ran into this lady the other day, and she said, oh, yeah, I know what you're doing. And I said, what am I doing? Because I didn't know this was a plan. She said, it's dopamine dressing. She said, there's like currently this thing where if you wear colors, certain vibrancies, it will actually create a dopamine hit in the brain via your clothing. Yeah. It's crazy. I didn't know
how
it.
does it work, though, if you're not seeing the colors? You have to look at yourself in the mirror the entire day to
I
get
guess you
that
just
hit?
stare at yourself over and
Or
over
does your
and over.
body feel the spectrum of colors that envelops you?
I don't know, but I think it's for the people looking at you.
Okay.
I think it's like they get the hit.
So I'm getting a dopamine
giving
hit
all
from
the
you right
love.
now?
Yeah, I'm giving you. Can you just feel the love?
I can
Just
feel it.
love.
It comes back around though, right?
You
Oh,
think?
They're
yeah.
in a good mood, then they project that back to you,
Yes.
and
You're
everyone
right.
feels it.
And
What
we
you
were
give, you get.
saying before you came in,
Uh-oh.
the last time you were here, when you left, I felt like warm sunshine.
Oh.
So I feel like you do that on your own
Mhm.
already.
Oh,
and we
come
were
on.
saying, like,
Right,
right before
we
you
felt
walked
good.
in, we felt
Well,
so good when you left.
We said,
Thank
like,
you.
we didn't know you that well then. We thought you might be a piece of work or something. We didn't know.
So you
When a
know
new
coming
artist
in
comes
hot.
in, you're always nervous. You don't
Yeah.
know how someone's going to be, right?
Yeah.
But you left and we were raving about you, how sweet you were, and what a joy it was to interview you.
Oh, come on.
Right.
That's awesome. It must be the Louisiana swamp in me.
You think
You
it
know,
is?
It's just simple.
That
We're just
LSU
sit-
vibe or something?
Yeah. Oh, say that one more time for my manager to hear.
That LSU vibe?
That LSU, come on. Yeah, she's a Georgia fan. We don't talk about it.
I'm so sorry.
No, it's good.
Oh,
Do
okay.
it. Please
All right.
make it worse for her.
Did you know that before she became your manager that she was a
Um,
school that you don't like?
I don't know if we didn't know the
Yeah.
intensity of which, like my
Right.
grandparents worked at LSU for 40 years. Okay,
It's a
so
big deal, right?
It is in the blood. Whether
Yes.
or not we want it or not, it is there.
Even if you didn't attend, it's
Yeah.
in your blood
Oh,
as a
yeah.
resident and somebody growing up in Louisiana.
1,000%. Okay, wait, this is even worse. My cousins grew up in Florida, but just being associated, just being descendants
LSU
of
fans.
those hardcore LSU
Right.
fans.
Right.
Everything they do is LSU.
Like it shows up, they say, in a 23andMe. When you do that DNA test,
Yes.
LSU will show up.
Yes, I know. It's that
crazy.
It's that intense. Purple and gold. It's in the bloodstream.
So listen, you get a brand new song.
Yes.
Tell us what the song's all about. We've heard
Yeah,
it. We love
loop
it.
me around.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, this song is called "Thank God I Do."
Yeah.
And it was the very first song that I wrote with the writer that I wrote "You Say" with. His
Yeah,
name's
oh my
Jason
gosh.
Ingram. It was the first song in 3 years that we had written together, and so it's kind of this feeling of like, you go into the room, you get ready for the day, like, okay, am I gonna be able to deliver something?
Right.
And I walked in and saw him, and I was like, hey, Jason, I got this idea. I don't know if it's good or not, whatever. And it was the first time I ever wrote a piano motif for a song. And he said, yeah, I think this is going to work. We wrote it in 45 minutes. And I was like, okay, thank God we still have the thing, because sometimes I don't know what it is about being a songwriter. You always wonder, is today going to be the day that I can never write a song again?
Right.
Is that going to be today? And you get in there and it's like hand in glove. And so it was one of my favorite moments writing with him. But we wrote it kind of at the end of the pandemic. And it was really about the process that I went through during the pandemic. Just feeling like, oh my gosh, there's so much craziness happening in the world. And I'm someone who, I love unity. It's the rainbows. It's what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I love
Right.
when people are kind to each other. I love when people know each other. And seeing the world in that state was like, I didn't know how to handle it. I didn't know how to absorb grief like that. And so we really sat down and talked about kind of the cathartic experience of songwriting and what it was to have people around me during that time to kind of lift me out of that state of sorrow for the world. And so we wrote "Thank God I Do" out of it.
Are you speaking to one person in this? Who are you speaking to? Who's the person you're talking to with "Thank God I Do"?
Okay, so it
Because
has
it seems like that. That's what we're trying to pick up on, right?
Yeah, it has a dual meaning. There was one person in particular that
Here,
I
let's
was.
turn that mic a little bit more towards you. I don't want to. Yeah, there you
yeah.
go. This is
Got it,
iHeart mics. They're very cheap. Brian, can you fix that mic, please?
Yeah, you
Let's
tell
get
me if it's.
There you go.
Love it.
Oh, wow.
Very fancy.
Yeah. Nice job,
I
Brian
like
Burke,
him.
producer of the year. Wow.
Round of
Very
applause.
nice. Okay, good.
Yeah, I am talking. Well, I was telling Jason in the co-write, I
Yeah.
said, it's crazy. I can see the fingerprints of God through this person.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like whenever I see this person and see what it is that he or she has done
Yeah.
in my life, I can see like God's kindness through this person.
Right.
So I guess it could be dual meaning, like,
Yeah.
okay, yes, God, I see you, but it's also that this person has really helped me out through this time.
Is there a person in particular, without diving into your private life here?
Yeah,
that you're speaking of?
it was a really good friend
Yeah.
who kind of just stepped in during a time and was like, hey, I know that I was dealing with panic attacks. I was dealing with lots of things I'd never discovered before.
Right.
It was almost like the world got still and my world intensified.
Right.
And I think I love being on tour. I love being around people.
Yeah.
I love the joy of living. And being still, it almost made me feel voiceless. All I
Yeah.
knew how to do was use my voice. This is the only thing that I have, right?
Yeah.
And being on stage and seeing people's faces in those interactions
Right.
to all be put to rest, in
Yeah.
one moment was pretty intense. And I was talking to a friend about, hey, there's this thing that happens when I can give this much joy away today, or I can give this much hope away
Right.
today. And where that space is for me
Mhm.
is on stage. It's on the road because I get to just have those one-on-one interactions and like Q&A and VIP
Mhm.
and things like that. But then also kind of share that experience with the room. And we all walk away with this like buzz of the evening,
Right. Right.
And so to not have that joy exchange, it was kind of what you were saying, like it goes back and forth. When
Right.
you
Right.
give joy, you get joy back.
You weren't
and I
getting
was
that.
so used to
Right.
that on such a grand level that when we were stuck in a room, it was like,
Yeah.
oh my gosh, I don't know what's happening.
What's funny, I think when the world gets very quiet, very still, other stuff gets loud. And things that weren't loud before, and now maybe you pay attention to them and they're enhanced, and you're like, I don't like that.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah. Oh, it was a lot of that. I noticed like, okay, in this stillness, I was finding things about myself that I was able to rediscover
Sure.
again. That almost like the road took away for a while.
Yeah.
Like being with my family, doing creative things like little arts and crafts. I have so many nieces and nephews. We would do face painting and like just
Right.
different things around the house, whatever. That really made me come alive. It's
Yeah.
called, in the French culture, Cajun French, is joie de vivre, the joy
Joie
of
de vivre.
living, joie de vivre. So we grew up like knowing this space, and I think going on the road, that was the place that I
Yeah.
took from home and created this experience, right? So going back home, there was a lot of really good that came out of it, and being still and kind of saying, oh, I get to like take some time to reinvent and relearn. But with that also came, the grief of
Right.
missing out on the road and seeing the animosity in the world. And this song is truly a song to just bring people back together and remind each other, like, we are good. We have good in us, and we can love each other freely. We can love each other with potency. And in the process of these, you were asking about the one person.
Yeah.
In the process of these panic attacks, I got on a plane and I was starting to have one. And this lady, she was sitting next to me, and I said, okay, it was before they closed the door. And I said, okay, I need to get off the plane. And she said, oh, why? And I was like, okay, who do you think I got to get off the plane. And she was like, no, why are you getting up? And I said, look, something just came up and I need to roll.
Right.
She said, I don't think so. And I said, well, excuse me? And she said, you and me, what's going on? And I said, look, I've never dealt with panic. I don't know what this is. I've never had anxiety like this before, but I gotta get off this plane. I feel just trapped. And she said, sit right there, and you and me are gonna do this together. And this is right after you'd see all those TikToks and Instagrams of people getting in fights on planes.
And this is a stranger.
Total stranger.
Right.
Didn't know her. She didn't know me. It wasn't
Yeah.
anything like that. And she said, we're gonna get it. We're gonna do it together. I promise you. Just stay in that seat, and we're gonna fly this flight hand in hand.
Right.
And I was like, I could either trust you, or this is about to be the worst decision ever.
Right.
And,
Damn, you don't know this lady.
Yeah. And I took the first option, and
Yeah.
she was so kind. And it was like I needed to be reminded after everything we had seen
Yeah.
that the world is still a beautiful place. And she was definitely proof of that. For
And
me.
that lady, by the way, flash forward, because I had heard the story, turned out to be Beyonce.
What do you know?
What do you know? What are the odds of that?
Beyonce
Listen,
was
we
my
have
friend.
amped up this song a lot now.
Thanks, Beyonce.
We really amped this thing up. Let's take a break and right back. Play the new song from Lauren Daigle. It is Valentine in the Morning. It's a
You
great
liked
song.
it?
We love it.
Good.
Living in the TikTok world that we live in now, I can now just see all the montages of people putting together
Right.
the photos, the videos to that song. It's
Yes.
beautiful.
Oh.
So beautiful.
Thank you so much. One of my favorite TikTok things that I saw during creating this whole record and everything was all the old people in the homes
I
that
can't.
got to see. Do you know
I
what
know
I'm
exactly.
talking about?
What is
Yep.
this?
It is like these old folks that got to see
Yeah.
each other for the very first time in
Right.
like a year, and or like the grandkids going to see the
Yeah.
grandparents, and it was like, when I say breathtaking, I would sit there and just
Cry.
bawl.
It's
I
pure
bawled
joy,
total
right?
Pure
strangers.
joy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Just bawling my eyes out.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love montages. I love that kind of stuff.
Are you nervous at all, I guess? I'm just throwing it out there. You know, you write You Say with this gentleman, and then you come to this song, and You Say was so big.
Yeah.
So big. Put you on the map,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, it was definitely.
And
the
there you
start.
are as a Christian artist crossing over, and you're not sure how we're going to treat you.
Yep.
How is this top 40 pop crazy world going to treat you? So you're trusting us to treat you well.
Yeah.
And I hope it turned out okay.
Yeah, please keep doing it.
Right, okay, no, for sure. I'm right there with you. But so when you come over in this world, are you nervous that, here's the same guy you wrote You Say with, that was such a big hit,
Hmm.
and do you have that magic again? I think you do, but I'm not the final arbiter of all that stuff.
Yeah, it was the craziest experience because I was in the shower the day before
Right.
and I was like, please God, give me a Jason melody because he can crank out these melodies. He writes like probably 10,000 songs a year.
Okay.
He's one of those, like
Right.
in his studio every single morning, every single day, 2 writes a day, like that sort of
Right.
thing. And I was, coming in rusty. I hadn't written in quite a couple years because of touring.
Yeah.
And I was like, please give me a Jason melody. So I get this melody, and it was the chorus, and I was like, okay, maybe there's something in that. I don't know. And sometimes the melody and the lyric come at the same time, and this is one of those. Then I walk in, or I'm driving to his studio the next morning. I get another song idea and that piano motif idea, and I go into the studio, and I showed him the piano motif, showed him the verse, the first verse,
Right.
what I thought could be a verse. And then I remembered, oh, wait, I wrote something in the shower, and it ended up connecting. So it was really a special moment to get to kind of show it
Yeah.
all to him. Yeah.
No, for sure.
Do you get more excited or anxious when you are redelivering music for the first time in so long?
Oh, my gosh, that's a great question. I get way more excited. I'm going to cough like 10 times real quick.
Go for
Is
it.
that okay?
Well,
Yeah,
yeah,
good.
I'm going to just hand you this. If you could just, there you go.
Oh, that's the test.
That's a test. That's
Yeah.
the,
I
I'm just
woke
going
up this
to
morning-
cough all over your microphone.
By the way, no, I'm kidding. Okay, we're good.
Allergies?
Do I get terrible?
You have bad allergies?
Bad allergies.
What do you take for
It
it?
was
What do you
something
do?
with the wind yesterday. Did y'all get that
Yeah.
wind up here?
Mhm.
We were staying down by
it
the
gets
beach.
windy sometimes, and
Yeah.
that stuff gets in the air, of course.
It just
Right.
this morning I woke up and I was like, my eyes are swollen shut. This is exciting. I take Flonase.
Oh, you do? Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, my kid does that too.
Yeah,
yeah.
it just helps. It's like the quick knock, you know. Okay, so do I get nervous or anxious
Right.
or excited?
Or excited, yeah.
I get so excited, like the kind of buzz that you're like, oh, I didn't sleep for almost 4 days straight because I've
Oh my
been
gosh.
so. I mean, really, I love it. Like I love it, love it, love it.
I love that.
And I think what it is you've kept this secret for so long. Like you've been in the studio, it's like being pregnant for 9 months and then finally you get to see the baby, you know?
Right.
It feels like that. Like finally the thing that we've been sculpting and working on is now going to be available for everybody to hear. And somebody asked me like, what's the most success that this would mean to you? Like what award or what? And I told him, I said, the beauty of getting to make a record, especially now, is like so exciting. But the beauty of getting to make a record that you actually love is such a gift. It's already a success to me. The experience in the studio with the people that I got to write with,
Right.
the people that I got to create
So no
with.
matter what happens,
Yeah.
you've had the experience and the beauty
Yeah.
of making that art. You
Yes.
put your art into the world. Hopefully the world loves it. But there are plenty of artists that, will paint a painting and then it's not recognized for 200 years later.
Yes.
Yeah. It's still who you are. It's still your art.
And it feels like because of how authentic it is,
Yeah.
because of how true it isn't, even if it's accepted or not accepted,
Right.
there's this thing of like, I know to the core of me
Yeah.
that this is what I love. And so I don't know how to explain it, but it's almost like because it's so pure, you're just like, okay, here, enjoy it. Here it is. Like, I hope you love it. I hope you have fun with it. I hope it brings you something beautiful. But if it's not your cup of tea, it's okay too. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but it's pure freedom, I think, is probably the best way to say it.
Have you met Chris Martin?
I haven't.
You're like the female Chris Martin. The
I
two of you
get
are
this
like,
all the time.
no, you're 100% right. It's hitting me so hard and fast right now. She's like, Chris Martin here as a guy, and there's you as a girl.
Yeah.
You're both the same. You're full of light and joy, and I didn't mean that in a bad way
No,
or
I
anything.
love
I hope it
it.
came across okay, but that's
we
what you
listened
are.
to Coldplay the whole way over here.
Did you really?
Yeah, we did.
Oh, you should have listened to our show. That would have been nicer.
Oh my God.
Next time.
Let me listen to the radio show I'm about to go on. Let me listen to that show. Wow. Good for you. Well, I'm glad things are going well for you.
Thank you so much.
I'm glad we got you to open up today. It seems like, you're so
Yeah.
shy.
Oh, I know. I like to be quiet. I'm very much an introvert.
Do you have bad days when you are an introvert?
Oh my gosh. I would say we actually had this conversation last night. We went around the room and we were like, okay, what are you? Introverted. And people were like, I'm an introverted extrovert. And I'm like, okay, what is an introverted extrovert? But I actually do think I'm an introverted extrovert. I'm like, can you actually be both words at the same time? I don't know. Doesn't that kind of defeat the point? But I have bad days 1,000%.
Right.
Oh yeah. And going back to the song, it is the people around me that keep me inspired, that keep me uplifted, that tell me, hey, we're gonna get through this together, like the lady on the plane.
Right.
It just is. I think it's how do you take those bad days and turn them into something good. That's the thing. The difference between one path and the other is just saying, okay, what we all suffer through or what we deal with, how do we turn this into something good? How do we use this as fuel for the good? So that's kind of what I try to do with my bad days.
Anything else you want to promote today or talk about while you're here?
Oh gosh. Okay, well, we have an album coming out.
You have the album coming out. Tell us
Yeah.
about that.
Album's coming out. It's self-titled. I can't wait. And we are going to be going on tour this year as well.
Oh,
So,
really?
Yeah, we're gonna be back here,
Do you know where you're going to be going all across the country? Or
all across the country, and then I think they're adding the foreign dates.
do you, the foreign dates?
Yeah, I'm like all those foreign.
All those across
places.
the pond somewhere. Do you have a place like that? Because I don't know how this all works. Can you explain it to me real quick? And we're going to be short on time here in a
Love
second.
it.
Does the record company pay for that stuff? Like the tour and stuff, like part of it? I don't know how that all works.
Okay, so the record company pays specifically for the record, all the marketing,
Okay.
like everything that goes into
The
getting
cost
the
of
record
engineering and stuff and all
All of
that?
it,
Okay,
yes.
record companies pay for that.
out. Record company pay, and everybody's contract is a little different, but
Sure,
that's how
for
mine
sure.
is.
Yeah.
And then we take on the cost of the
The tour. And then you hopefully make it up in ticket sales, et cetera,
But we
and stuff
have
like that.
we have a promoting. Is that what you? We take on. Okay, our promoter pays for the tour, but they pay me to pay all the
Gotcha.
expenses. Does
So
that
what
make
I was
sense?
trying to get into with that is, do you ever slip in a place that you just really want to go?
Oh,
You know, it's not so much musically like
1,000%.
there's the one club in Paris that I really think we
Yes,
should play at.
Yes, before we've definitely done Hawaii. I mean, Hawaii is like my favorite place. Yeah. How do you get 100 people to Hawaii via a plane? Just rent the whole plane and
Yes,
go.
there you go. Perfect.
No,
Perfect.
so we've done Hawaii. Before the pandemic, we were doing Bali. We were going to go to Bali. I'm like, I don't know where there's a venue in Bali, but we're doing it. That sounds great.
Listen, I don't know if they know me in Bali, but I think they should know me, and we should go there.
Yeah, we had
for you.
Tokyo on the books. I
Yeah.
love foreign travel. I just
Right, you
love
like
it.
to
I love
travel.
going
Yeah, yeah,
overseas.
yeah.
It's so beautiful. I love all the cultures. That's what it is.
Sure.
I just love seeing people. I love seeing a different way to live.
Yeah.
Yeah. it's
No, I totally
exciting.
get that. Well, thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
Great to see
Thank
you as
for
always.
having me. I know. This is so refreshing. It's good to see your
Yeah,
faces.
it's nice to interact with people in person versus on Zoom and stuff.
Oh,
you know?
yeah. Oh, my gosh. Forever. I will be done with Zoom forever and ever, as long as we possibly can be. I love the in-person. Thanks for having me.